A summit's goal is to reach out to parents and professionals together. We have 400 counselors, social workers, and parents from the parish and surrounding area, and really to deliver education and information about prevention. Everything from internet safety to trauma-informed practices to substance abuse prevention. All of those issues that touch parents and their kids. Our goal is to help them be better parents by increasing their skill and awareness.
That's fantastic to hear. And how many people do you think is in attendance this year compared to what you guys had last year?
We have about double the number, probably about 450, not including staff and vendors. So we like to think that we've touched a good number of people and that they'll take this back to other places and use this information to improve the lives of other people in their work areas, schools, etc.
And could you tell us about some of the guest speakers that you're having this afternoon?
Sure. Our major speaker is Toni Bankston. She's the director of the Child Advocacy Center here in Baton Rouge. She's speaking on trauma, specifically in our area. Post-flood, we have a lot of kids who are being impacted by displacement from their homes and a lot of anguish around what's going to happen in the future. And so she's talking about parents about trauma, to counselors about trauma and how to better deal with those issues. And we also have Corey Bourgeois from the Attorney General's office later who'll be talking about internet safety, cyber safety, which is also a big concern for parents.
Well, the purpose of the summit is to offer a day of fun because we do have vendors here and activities for guests to participate in. But the main purpose of the summit is to present education to the community, to offer tips and tools and techniques to be the best you, the safest you, the happiest you. It is for professionals, and it is for general community members, and it is for parents. So there are sessions today that will help people in our community go out and be the best that they can be. It's free, which is always great. Everybody loves a great deal. And if you're a professional and you're here, then you have an opportunity to earn your professional continuing education credits. And usually there's a fee associated with that. So they have an opportunity to come here today to get their credits and actually get them for free. So that's like a double whammy. So that's a double positive. So those are just a few of the main things. And then we have some little ones that are running around here today, and they are getting to experience the activities that the vendors are offering today. It's just an all-around good time.
So tell us about what you're going to be speaking about this afternoon.
It's going to be a broad overview of internet safety, how parents can help better track kids' phones, what to be on the look for if their kid maybe starts to hide a few things, apps to be aware of, and just a general overall sense of family at home with all this technology.
Great. And how long have you been involved in this sort of work?
10 plus years now. So I've been doing presentations all over the state since that time, and I do digital forensics as well during the day. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of challenging stuff to get through.
I know this is definitely a topic of concern for a lot of parents. Do you have any recommendations that you could give out to them right now, some of the things that you may be getting into in your talk?
Sure. I think the most important thing right now is family time. Sitting around the dinner table, having those conversations like we used to do when this technology didn't exist. That's extremely important to me and my family, and I urge other families to do that. Don't use cell phones as a way to get the kid just to be busy for a little while. We need to engage, we need to talk to them, and just have that one-on-one conversation.
We're here to tell the family exactly how the Crime Stopper works, and that they can contact us, their students or they themselves can call us anonymously or text us anonymously if they know of any crime or criminal activity that has taken place or is about to take place. And it works very well in the school system because, as we know, students are apprehensive of telling school officials because they're afraid they're going to be ostracized or the next victim. They can contact the Crime Stoppers office and pass that information on to us. We in turn work with the different school systems, pass that information on to that designated person at that school, and it's investigated.
Excellent. So people who come up and speak with you or who want to get more involved with Crime Stoppers, what is maybe the number one thing you'd hope that they take away from getting involved, or that you would hope that they know?
Well, Crime Stoppers is the safest way to say something, and that we never know who we're talking with. We don't have any telephone ID, trap or trace. We don't want to know the identity of the person. We do want to know the information that they have.
We're a domestic violence organization, and our vision is to empower the community to stand up and speak out against domestic violence. The services we provide are support group, we do advocacy work, we do outreach, we offer some counseling sessions. So we're in the community in East Baton Rouge Parish.
And then do you have any recommendations that you could give to the people watching this video, to the community, that could help them be more engaged in prevention efforts?
Yes, we're always looking for volunteers, and you can find us on Facebook. But we also want to encourage the community to come out and get involved in this movement to help end domestic violence, because it is a crisis in our community and we need all hands on deck.
The Healthy Minds program is a collaboration between the school psychology doctoral program at LSU and iCare, wherein the graduate students provide mental health counseling services to students in East Baton Rouge Parish in middle and high school. And it's a great service because we are providing services for all kinds of really prevalent issues like depression or anxiety, ADHD symptoms, things like that. And the counselors are going directly to the student's school. So we're taking the services, from a private clinic and bringing them directly into the student's school.
That's excellent. And for people who are interested or think that their child or themselves might be eligible or wanting to engage with these services, what can they do to get involved?
Yeah, so if you or someone else is looking to make a referral to the program, you would contact either your school's iCare specialist or school counselor to initiate the referral process. And if the counselor needs additional information about how to make the referral, they can just reach out to iCare directly and we'll walk them through the process.
We exist really to work with children in the aftermath of a violent crime, like physical abuse, sexual abuse, domestic violence, witnessing a homicide, and we provide several different types of services. One is assisting with the forensic investigation of those cases, and then we also have a comprehensive program for healing in the aftermath of those traumatic events.
And that was one of the things that I had a question about as well in the general population. What exactly is trauma? What is the effect? And then what are some things that parents, the community, and other organizations can do? And they have been doing a lot because that's a big topic right now. So letting parents know and others know what exactly is trauma and the symptoms.
There are a lot of ways to really define trauma. When I'm speaking to general groups that include both professionals and parents, I like to use the definition a wounding of the mind, body, and spirit in the aftermath of some event that a person perceives as threatening, and it overwhelms a person's ability to cope. That's really what trauma is.
And how does that tie into what you all are doing right now with your organization? And what are some preventive matters or methods that you have been taking this upcoming year and previous years?
Okay. Well, one of the things we've been talking about this morning is the movement toward making all systems and providers more trauma-informed. And there's a lot of information out there about trauma-informed approaches, but basically we at the CAC, as well as other providers in law enforcement, child protection, therapy providers, we want to provide services in a way to children that have been traumatized that don't re-traumatize children. That's first and foremost. Providing safe environments for kids, whether they're in school or at the home. Safety is a big focus. And then just really helping the general public, as well as building awareness amongst our teams that trauma is not an oddity. Trauma is actually something that's common in the human experience, so that at any time that you're encountering a child who's having some symptoms or problematic behaviors, to understand that you may be encountering a child who is coming from trauma or some sort of adverse experience that they're having in their family or in their neighborhood. There's some web-based resources. There's one that comes to mind right now, acestoohigh.com. ACE stands for Adverse Childhood Experiences. There's a wealth of information on that website about trauma in childhood and also some of the things that help offset trauma, resources, skills. I would always refer people to our website, Baton Rouge, spelled out, cac.org. On our website, you can see the menu of services that we have to offer, as well as a brief video about what we do, how it interfaces with the criminal justice system, and also the story of a survivor of trauma that's quite inspiring and compelling. We are currently looking for people who are interested in having people like me come out and talk to groups about trauma and its impact on children, and how every person in society really has a responsibility. It's not just the experts, and how they can help kids and how they can help teenagers. Looking for groups, looking for schools that would like us to come in and provide services. We have a few resources. We're always trying to fundraise because we are an independent nonprofit, but right now we do have some resources that allow us to actually bring services to kids where they are in the schools, whether that's groups, whether it's abuse prevention classes, bullying prevention, and really it's just a matter of calling the CAC at 343-1984, but the number's also on the website.
I'm with O'Brien House. My name is Yolanda Yancey, and again, I'm with O'Brien House, and we're an addiction recovery center. We work with indigent men and women ages 18 and up on their road to recovery. We're basically the halfway house before they get back into society and independent living. Our program is 3 to 4 months. They meet individually with counselors to gain skills. They do group therapy. We also do referral with other organizations in the community to just make sure they have the whole wraparound services in order to succeed and be successful in on their journey of recovery. We also have an intensive outpatient program, which is awesome. We have an ASAP program, which is our adult substance education program, and it's a DUI, first-time offender DUI program that gives a client a chance to wipe any DUIs away from them. If it's a first-time offense, they get the education so they can know better and do better in society, and that's a program that comes from the DA office, East Baton Rouge DA office. We also have the prevention program, which I work with, and that's community services. Right now we're doing community services with youth and families in public housing. So we go in and give them skills training on the different drugs that are out there in the community, about alcoholism, how it affects the family. We have a strengthening families program because a lot of times single parents, they are so busy doing work, going to work and trying to make a living for the family, so sometimes they lose control or the situation that their kids can get into everyday living. So we give them a chance to learn how to communicate a little bit better without all the yelling and screaming. Just talk one-on-one to your children because, of course, they are people too. So, we want to do that. We also promote getting back together, the old basic traditional, having a family meal. So if you have a family meal with your child, it gives you the opportunity to open up and have that conversation a little bit better. So we promote that, like I said, within the public housing. Prevention methods, like I said, with our extension of the community services, we want to make sure that we get to the youth. So being in the community and working with iCare, which I love because they're in the schools. What happens after they leave school? And one of the things I fell in love with O'Brien House, I started working just as a part-time worker 15 years ago. And one of the things I love when I found out about the community service department, the prevention department, going back and giving back to the community, we have to start teaching our children at a young age so they can, as they grow, they can learn a little bit more because eventually they're going to become parents, successful adults in society. So we want to make sure that we give them the information. That's number one. Give them information that they can, that'll help them to succeed. And then we just make sure that they have services, they have access to services such as there's an organization, Metro Health, things of that matter. iCare in the schools, even if the children aren't going through it, we can tell the parents so they can inquire a little bit more about it. And another thing that I like to promote with iCare is their iCare Live website. I love it because it gives the parents a chance to learn different things that are out there. Learning even though we're in the computer age, children are learning at a faster rate with technology. The one-on-one, we still need the one-on-one, face-to-face, because I can access the computer and get information, but if I don't have that one-on-one connection, what is it really doing, because I may not understand what I'm reading, because all of us don't learn on the same level. So, I love that you do have the internet, but you also have that face-to-face interaction with the community. So that's one of the preventive skills that services that we do offer, and also with our clients, even though they're coming to us as being a halfway house, we're the last one because they go through a detox stage, they go through a treatment, a 28-day treatment, and then they come to O'Brien House where they get a little bit more independence because they're getting ready to step back out and they have to learn a whole new way of living, sober and drug-free. So we want to make sure they know how to recognize a trigger. That's one of the preventive groups that we have at the campus, that relapse prevention, that they know what's going to trigger them wanting to drink or use again. So we have those group sessions.
So the LIFE program is a positive youth development program that is issued and implemented through the Office of the Governor. And we service community-based and faith-based organizations as well as schools statewide.
Okay. And what exactly type of work are you guys doing in the community with these organizations?
And so our program is a positive youth development program. And so our mission is to empower youth across the state, ages 12 through 19, to make healthy lifestyle decisions. And so we do that through curriculum from sex ed, mental ed, to physical ed. And so we also offer resources for the parents of these youth. And so not only are we empowering the youth, we're also empowering the parents and any agencies that reach out to them we want to partner with.
That's great to hear. And so do you have any information you'd like to communicate to the community and those out there watching the video about how they may get in touch with your organization or be more involved?
Absolutely. So if you know anyone who is active in their community, active with any community-based organizations, if you know of any great youth programs through your church, or even if you just have a school who you know can benefit from a great sexual education course, we're here to train your employees, train your volunteers, and provide them with as many resources and tools as we can, free of charge.
My first question is, I know that you're the Advisory Council chairperson. Can you please tell us about your role as the chairperson?
My role is to support the iCare program and to help lead the Advisory Council. This was my first year as chair, and it's been quite the learning task, and I am prepared and ready to move on in my second year in the next school year coming. My job basically is to assist Gwen to make sure that the Advisory Council is flowing well and that goals and objectives are being met. I get to bang a gavel at the meeting to open and close the meeting, so that's always fun too, to feel like you have a little power in the gavel. But the main thing is to make sure that our prevention programs are going well and that we are reaching the community, we are reaching our youth, and we're changing behaviors, and we are encouraging positive behaviors within the youth throughout our communities through the East Baton Rouge Parish School System.
How important is prevention to you?
Well, prevention actually falls into my full-time career. I'm the executive director of Lexley's Kids, which is the child injury prevention nonprofit. So my job full-time is to prevent death and injury to youth ages 0 to 18. So it's just a natural partnership that was formed with iCare in the prevention realm. I've actually been on the Advisory Council since 2005, so I've been with them for a long time, and then towards the end of my stint, then I have the honor of serving as the advisory chair. Prevention is key. Prevention does a lot of things that I think that a lot of people don't realize, and you want to be more proactive than reactive. And when you are proactive, it actually costs taxpayers less dollars to prevent a death or injury than it does to fix a death or injury. So by spending a little bit on the front of the issue and preventing the injury, you actually end up saving a lot more than actually trying to repair or get individuals back to their 100% health capacity. So in terms of dollars, it saves money to our taxpayers. It promotes a good quality and quantity of life. We want everybody to live their fullest life. We want them to be happy. We want them to be healthy. So I think that our programs lead towards that, to where we prevent alcohol in our youth. We promote positive decision making. We speak against violence. We offer counseling services when there are things that happen that have negative impact in the community. iCare really does a lot for our school system, and they really do support our youth in a big way. And not only do we support our youth, we support their family as well, because with the child comes the parent. A happy child is based off of a happy parent. If a parent is empowered, then their child can be the best youth that they can be.
I'm a senior legal investigator at the Office of Alcohol and Beverage Control. Our primary function is to enforce the wine, beer, and liquor ordinances within the city and within the parish to all businesses that sell or serve alcohol within the parish.
All right, great. And can you tell us a little bit about what you'll be talking about today?
Well, I'm also a part of a task force with Baton Rouge City Police and East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Department called JUDE, which is Juvenile Underage Drinking Enforcement, and we go throughout the parish to well-known establishments that are illegally selling alcohol to minors, and in different places where they're obtaining, the alcohol illegally. But what I'll be more so discussing is just information that parents need to know and what to be aware of as regards to open container laws, who can allow them to drink, when and when not they can't drink, and things like that. It's just a lot of things that parents have questions about that they just don't know. More especially the open container laws here in Baton Rouge, which is a criminal misdemeanor, and also the growing problem, I don't call it an epidemic, but it seems that way, with the fraudulent IDs. The fake IDs is becoming a serious problem. So we're just trying to give them some tips and information on what to do to look for that.
Absolutely. And what would you say is maybe the number one thing you'd hope people take out from your talk today?
Wow. To be more proactive, with the kids, especially for some reason, whether it be stress, peer pressure, things like that, where kids, want to start drinking. And it starts sometimes, as young as 12 years old. And, your body and your brain is still developing. You can cause some serious problems. And, alcohol is probably one of the worst drugs there is because it's accessible and it affects the entire body, including the central nervous system that controls your entire function. So we just want, parents to be aware, the community to be aware of how to be actively involved in preventing measures like this, because it's so easy to get their hands on. So we just want to give them some information on how to get involved and how to either quell the situation. We hope that it can be completely eradicated, but unfortunately it can't. As long as you have somebody that thinks different than you, then you're going to always constantly have to enforce these measures. But just to give parents tips and the community tips on what to do and how to do it in case they have issues with this situation.
We are a mental health rehabilitation facility. We do in-home with children all the way down to age 4, up through adults. We also work with families as a whole. Everything is done in the home or in the community, so families don't have to worry about coming to the office and worry about transportation and all that kind of thing. We also do outpatient therapy, and we have a doctor on staff that can do medication management.
That sounds fantastic. And then do you have any recommendations about how anybody that's interested in getting in contact with you can get in contact with you, or any recommendations to the community?
Right. So mental health is a keynote to our community, right? And it's constantly getting cut, but it's something that's super important for our community to stay healthy, because mental health can have an effect on your physical health as well. So just looking out for those things that, being depressed or being anxious, those kinds of things. So check out somebody who can help with that. We have a website. You can reach us at lsflouisiana.com. You can call us at 225-364-2550, and we'd be happy to help you with anything.
So the Crisis Intervention Center is also known as the phone. We are a 24-hour emotional support hotline. We also answer the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. We basically are available 24 hours for any type of crisis. We say crisis is personally defined. There's nothing too big or too small. We have counselors available 24 hours on the phone, and also through our website you can access us on chat, so an online chat.
And so if people wanted to be more involved with the phone, how could they contact you about that?
Sure. Well, they can call the phone 924-3900. We can direct you to our business line. We have volunteer trainings for those that want to be on the phone. It's about 70 hours worth of training in class and online. It's completely free training, and then you can then be a volunteer on the phone lines. We're also expanding our volunteer opportunities to offer ambassador volunteer opportunities for those that want to just spread the word about the phone and do outreaches for the center.